Now we move on. Electronic Arts has announced that it has been acquired by an investor consortium led by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund and supported by American investment firms, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners in an all-cash transaction that values the video game giant at an enterprise value of approximately $55 billion. The transaction was approved by EA's board of directors. It is expected to close in Q1 financial year 27 and is subjected to customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals and approval by EA stockholders. Following the close of the transaction, EA's common stock will no longer be listed on any public market. For EA, the maker of some of the most popular video games on the market like Call of Duty, The Sims, and Madden NFL, this deal represents the single largest all-cash sponsor take-private investment in history. Now for this discussion, we're joined by Peter Cordillo. He's a chief market economist at Spartan Capital Securities, joins us live from New York. Thank you, Peter, for staying with us. Now looking at this deal, how significant is it, and what implications does this landmark $55 billion all-cash acquisition have for the video game industry?
Sure. Well, let me just start off by saying, that this year we've seen mergers and acquisitions picked up. And of course, we've seen some companies go private off the public market and going into private enterprises. Of course, this Electronic Arts going private at $55 billion is very significant, being backed by the Saudi's private investment fund and Silver Lake, two big names. And this, of course, indicates that there's a lot of value, and people are willing to take on the risk of increasing value. And so this is good news. And, anytime you have companies going off the public market into private hands for the right reasons, let's understand each other, that's always a positive, and the market's like that. So yeah, this is a very big deal in terms of the amount, and who knows, maybe 5 years from now, they may want to bring it back to the public markets again. It could very well happen.
And especially, what does this mean in terms of competition, investment, and the potential influence of foreign investors in global tech companies?
It has two points here. One, it shows confidence. Second, the shareholders will be taking part in this because they'll get what they're being paid for. So again, it's like an acquisition, and that's always good for investors as long as they're making out on the plus side.
How will Electronic Arts acquisition by a consortium led by Saudi Arabia, in particular's public investment, affect the company's long-term strategy, particularly regarding its maybe corporate governance?
Yeah, well, again, the Saudis have been committing to big investments in the States, and this is another one. And so it shows that there's plenty of cash floating around in the systems, in the world markets, and in the world systems themselves, and that's very positive. So anytime we see a country like Saudi Arabia engaging in this type of a acquisition, or taking it private, I should say, is a good sign. It's a friendly sign, and a sign that they see value here in the States.
And what does it mean for what are the potential economic impacts of electronic arts being taken private long term for financial transparency?
I think it's a boost, like I said before, you know. It gives, it shrinks the competition in the public market, correct? And of course, it shows that people are interested in this particular field, and that's important. So the Saudis, I guess, feel very comfortable in working with a company that's basically a video, etc.
Thank you very much, Peter, for sharing that. We'll come back to you in a second. Now, Electronic Arts has announced that it has been acquired by an investor consortium led by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund and supported by American investment firms Silver Lake and Affinity Partners in an all-cash transaction that values the video game giant at an enterprise value of approximately $55 billion. The transaction was approved by EA's board of directors. It is expected to close in Q1 FY27 and is just subject to customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals and approval by EA stockholder. Following the close of the transaction, EA's common stock will no longer be listed on any public market. For EA, the maker of some of the most popular video games on the market like Call of Duty, The Sims, and Madden NFL, this deal represents the single largest all-cash sponsor take-private investment in history. Thank you, Peter Cordio, for joining us and sharing that insight. Now we move on to our